Okay, now we were talking about the hospital stuff earlier, how we had all of this hospital material that we had to condense into the car scene and cut the rest of it. This is the only scene that survived. And this is actually a set that we had to build in the production office in the lobby. So it may look a little sparse,
but
you
guys did such a great job with it. Nobody would know.
Yeah, if you didn't know, you wouldn't know.
Yeah. And there's Bill Daly again.
Bill Daly.
Now, Bill gives himself a hard time on his performance, but I think he's nice. I think he's very genuine, and he's got a lot. He brings a nice subtlety to the table.
I was fairly certain that you guys had at some point a gay relationship because you bounce off each other very well.
I think "had" is an unfair statement. We continue.
One night is not had.
No, never. Not in my eyes. We get together and do some deep kissing.
And this is
and antiquing.
And antiquing.
You want to come over for some poker and deep kissing?
Yeah.
Now this is Mike Emanuel playing Paul's dad.
Mike's
probably a little young to be playing your dad, but we grayed his hair a little
and in black and white, it's very clear that you. He's fantastic.
I don't know.
Mike
I can't find enough
awesome.
Superlative adjectives for him in this thing. And
he knocks it out.
He's a great actor. He's a lot of fun. He works all the time. I see him all the time in commercial casting stuff.
He's doing some producing now too. He's got a couple of films.
Of course he does.
Nice.
And I think you two have a nice interaction in this scene too.
Well,
now, had you and Mike had not rehearsed this scene?
Not at all, and I did.
So
I wanted that intentionally.
So you guys,
I wanted to. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jane.
That's okay.
I was just saying that, and one of my favorite little quirks. This is so stupid. We're both wearing the same exact gloves. It's stupid,
Really?
but it's just something I love that unfolded. Like he's just like his dad. You know, he can't help it. Yeah,
I never noticed that.
We never rehearsed. And I intentionally wanted to just allow the scene to kind of happen because see how he doesn't even look at him. He can't even look at him. He's so uncomfortable.
that was you, wasn't it, Tom?
No,
that's a James joke.
End of the margarita glass was you?
That was him, and then I had the Big Lots was me.
The Big Lots,
I've been fooled.
Big Lots.
But this is
Big
I
Lots.
wanted it to just be really kind of as in the moment as I could of never having spoken to him before. You know, at the
I think that your attack was some kind of divine.
Actually, this scene we didn't rehearse. The scene at the end of the film we did rehearse.
Shouldn't have looked.
This scene was tricky to write, as I remember, because you wanted to have it have an emotional anchor and core without getting too much.
Now was this the draft where we the earlier draft where everyone had their own moments in the hospital? Was this still the same thing, or was it rewritten after
this
that?
scene was the culmination of that sequence. So we went from the fight to the hospital. All the characters split. I think first you follow Alden, and we could never really find a... I mean, that's if I had to say one thing about the script as a whole, I really wish we had a little bit better closure for Alden, but he got kind of lost in that part of the script because of those cuts a little bit. But I could be just my opinion.
I always felt his closure happened in the scene with
the
Tom,
rooftop
in
scene.
the rooftop scene,
Yeah, the
because he
rooftop,
releases and asks the questions out loud.
Yeah.
The way the film ends now, that is the moment of closure.
And it's perfect for the two
that's
of
what
them
he
to have
needed.
that moment together. Because my Kirby's moment
right.
happens, and they almost sort of equalize each other a little bit.
And they can relate to each other.
Yeah.
They find they can relate to each other on an interesting level, and we'll talk about wrapping up that moment in a little bit. But so we went into the hospital, and then Alden was having an interaction with the doctor, and then Kirby hit on the girl, like Tom said, and then I think we landed here, and this was the end of that whole sequence, and all those other scenes just got cut. And I think this scene stayed pretty close to how we wrote it, I think.
And it's, I mean, again, as a current gay man, something I touched on a little bit earlier when they were in the yarn shop is comes full circle here now. Is I'd love the idea that somebody can pin uncomfortability on somebody else, and it turns out that the father is but he plays it wonderfully too, because he is comfortable with it, but at the same time he's still
not.
It's still like, do I wish my son were running around with a football? Sure, but I love him, and that playing both of those things. It's very, believe me.
What, you're saying gay men can't play football?
Oh.
Is that what you're saying?
They slap each other on the ass. There's a whole...
You can never get on the field.
No, but I actually can say, genuinely, from my relationship with my father loved me dearly, but yet there's always a little bit of...
Well, it's expectations, I think. I think that's
my
inherent.
little boy,
Right.
you know?
Well, I don't
but
think
he plays both of those things at the same time. It's wonderful, you know?
You know, I was a real jerk to somebody in this scene. There was a PA standing off camera, and he was talking to somebody the entire time during the scene. And he was just right in my eye line, and I swear to God, I felt like such a jerk after he said it. I was like, I asked that person to get out of my eye line. I hate myself. I hate myself. I hate myself.
And if they're watching this film now, you can call or write Paul.
You can read me, paulhungerford@gmail.com.
But now you are watching. You do once that line is broken with him, you spend the rest of the scene looking at him. It's very nice.
Well, Tom, you said that early in the process you felt that the film was about perception, and I think that this is the scene that made you say that.
This is great.
Yeah,
this is great. This is what you're
I'm
referencing.
sorry, Tom Rhoads.
This is what you're referencing, right, Tom?
What's that?
This part, like the football thing.
Yeah.
Now that's a real story, by the way.
Yeah.
There's a friend of ours who, when he came out to his dad, this is how it went down. Was that interaction?
See the gloves? Same.
Not
Same
Who's
gloves.
that
now the
handsome?
gloves are off.
But I like the turn in that scene of that. Maybe
I agree. It's a great scene.
that Patrick's been thinking one thing, and maybe that's not the way it really is.
That
and
is
that
a gay
nice
man's
reveal.
sweater. That is what a gay man would wear.
Okay, this
can
stuff,
can I step in here?
So I just want to say real quick, this stuff here, you saw the shot, and there's one more shot push in here. Where is it? Here it is. This stuff of Kirby and Alden. There was a whole bunch of dialogue that we shot with Kirby and Alden. We had a lot of trouble cutting this part of the movie too. But we were on that dialogue, and towards the end of the process, I think Tim or I said, the resolution of those characters is really on the rooftop.
Yeah.
And that closes that story to a certain degree. So we took all the dialogue that happened here and just excised it because we didn't need it. Their story's done. We're on Patrick, and they are only there to sort of remind Patrick of what he has that these two guys now don't have.
Did you shoot all the stuff where they each got phone calls from their
Yeah, we shot all
wives?
that
That was all
That's
shot?
a great
We
joke.
shot all that stuff, but we excised it because we didn't need it.
It's in the library.
And we were saying that...
Where's that? Down the hall. Oh, you mean the room with all the books in it?
Yeah, that is great.
Patrick, I have called 6 different restaurants, but everyone's closed.
That's because it's Christmas, Mom. Nobody's.
Oh my
open
God,
on
this
Christmas.
actress.
What about that restaurant at the
Ruth was-
This is Ruth DeSouza.
Ugh,
She came to us through Mike Emanuel.
It's a movie, Mom.
She was great.
fantastic.
Don't live in a
Very
Christmas
funny.
Story.
What about the Andersons across the street? They always have a house full of food. I'm gonna go over and see if they'll loan us some of their sweet potatoes. You do still like sweet potatoes, don't you, honey?
Yeah, see, with all this stuff, and there was a lot of dialogue there, but we just didn't need it because the important part is this moment of Patrick, seeing these guys, because these guys don't have anything, and he does, and sort of puts it in perspective for him, which I like. But we didn't need all that other dialogue.